What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Brittany, aka B, aka Mama Bear from the Love Box. So today we are doing a makeup tutorial, but it isn't your normal makeup tutorial. I'm actually gonna go in and speak on why I chose YouTube, speak on who I am just individually, a little bit about my goals for this channel, a little bit about my goals just in the future, maybe touch on a little bit of me and Ramone's relationship. I kind of want to do maybe a little couples video with that, so I won't go into too many details, but I can tell you how we met and how long we've been together, things like that. I apologize, I have not done a makeup tutorial before. I am not a makeup artist by any stretch of the imagination. I actually just started dabbling into doing makeup maybe May of 2020, so not even a full year as far as contouring, things like that. I've done my eyebrows for years now. It's taken me years to get to where I'm at, girl. Years. Okay, I was really struggling. Like, your girl was coming out with black thick, or not necessarily thick, but like super dark black eyebrows, almost like I went to a tattoo shop and just straight had no microblading, no nothing, just yellow, I guess. Thought I was too cute. Not cute. But so I'll kind of show what I'm using a little bit, but forgive me if I forget or I don't, because I am going to use a lot of this time to just express myself and touch on a few topics as far as where I want to go and what I want to do with this channel. So of course, before we get into that, y'all already know what to do. Make sure you subscribe to the Love Box, turn on those notifications, hit that bell so you get notified every time we post a new video. Like this video, comment, share, the whole 9 yards. Y'all know how YouTube gets down. Let's just get to it. So I am already done with my eyebrows. As you can see, I cannot do my eyebrows and talk at the same time. It's just, I don't know if that's just a natural born talent. I don't know. I know a couple people that I just know in general have asked me to show them how to do my eyebrows. So maybe I could put just like a little tutorial on how I do them and maybe do a voiceover, because I can't talk and do it at the same time. So my face, I've already washed my face. I've already put on moisturizer, which actually I use vitamin C serum before my makeup because I have really oily skin. So I moisturize at nighttime every night with my skincare routine, and then depending on if I'm wearing makeup or not, I will put moisturizer after my vitamin C serum in the morning, just in the places that I need it, because I get super oily. So all of the products that I use are mattifying. My toner for my skincare is mattifying, my concealer, my foundation, my primer, everything is mattifying, because I am just a full grease ball. That's just facts. That's just what it is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into my eyes and tell you a little bit about me. So actually, before I do that, I do want to just go ahead and give you a few of my favorite quotes. I have them in my phone. I keep them in my notes. I can pretty much remember them verbatim, but I keep them in my notes just for something to reference and something substantial to read. One of them I actually just learned within like the last 30 days, and that's how big it stood out to me. The first one is, if you're not going to help me make money, don't help me spend my money. I did not grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth necessarily, and no disrespect or knock anybody who was more fortunate than me. I was not in a situation where my mom ever let us go without. Actually, as a little girl, I was probably spoiled more than most people might have been, especially like just in my area or the town that we lived in. A lot of that took place because of the home life that we lived. So my mom did the best that she could, but a lot of spoiling me and giving me whatever I wanted was to make up for a lot of the abuse that me and my sibling went through. As I got older, I did struggle. I was kicked out, unfortunately, at 17. I graduated a month before I turned 18, and as soon as I walked the stage, I was kicked out. Which kind of will go into where I'm from a little bit, but I will finish this thought before I get onto that. At 17, I was kicked out, and so I was forced to move into adulthood pretty fast. I honestly was put in a position as a kid to not really be a kid, even before 10 years old. So at 17, I was kicked out, not by my mother. Unfortunately, it was my stepdad who kicked me out. And I was forced to move back home, which is, I consider my home, California. After living out there, this was 2008, and if anybody remembers that time, that was pretty much like the modern day Great Depression. Everybody was losing jobs. People weren't able to obtain jobs, and here I am in California, extremely populated state, no education other than a high school diploma and part-time jobs that I had throughout high school. So I couldn't find a job. It was extremely hard to find a job. And after about a year, I moved back to my second home, which is Kansas City. I actually moved in with my biological father, who I did not meet until I was 13. I moved in with him because unfortunately my stepdad would not allow me to live with him and my mother and my sibling. At that point, I lived with my dad for a few months. I got a job. I was working full time, and then I was kicked out of my biological father's house. I will use a lot of that maybe in later videos to explain some of those situations. But that led me to living on my own at 19, or right before 19, but I'm pretty sure it was 19. So at 19, I actually is when I moved into my first apartment and was living on my own. I lived on my own for a couple of years before I had my first son, Xavier, who is 8 years old. And at that time, of course, I was young, I was partying, I was living my best life before I had kids. I didn't really, I wouldn't say I necessarily was struggling. All my bills were paid, car payment was paid, still had money to go kick it, do what I wanted, live my life, all of that good stuff. Once I had kids, I was very fortunate to be able to provide for my kids. I was working full time initially, due to the unfortunate events of my firstborn child's other half that helped make me. Let's just use that. I think that's the best polite term to use. I was on my own, single mom, so I was forced to make a lot of tough decisions that kind of put me in a very bad position as far as my credit, my debt, because I was forced with a decision to keep my car, keep my apartment, and obviously having a roof over our heads versus a car was the decision I had to make. So with only a year left of payments on my car, I had to voluntarily give it back. At that time, I was explained at 20 years old that, voluntarily giving it back will be a lot better on my credit than having it picked up if I fall behind on payments, blah, blah, blah. as I've gotten older, I realized that a voluntary repo and a regular repo literally there's no difference on the credit. So just as I continued to have kids and working on my own, working part-time and part-time in school, my kids were very fortunate. My kids had everything they needed, everything they wanted, but at that point as a parent, that takes back from what you're used to or what maybe you used to give yourself or the things that you wanted to give yourself. So as I've gotten older and better career choices, better income and different things, as I've just within the last 2 years recently have been able to do for my children and myself as well. I still don't do the things that I pray for and the things that maybe I could do just for basically fear of, I don't like to use the word fear because I am really trying a new movement and not living my life in fear and making my decisions because I'm scared or fearful of something, because I strongly believe in God and Jesus, and I just feel like if I do not live by faith, then I will suffer no matter what it is. So I just now got to the point where I have, within the last few years, have been a little bit more fortunate in financially speaking. By no means am I rich, on my way to rich, any of that. I don't even consider myself financially stable because in my eyes of what I want to be able to make a purchase for $1,000 and not ever have to check my account or worry about, if I make this big purchase, what would the next 4 months of my life look like. So I say that to go into my next reasoning for why the quote, if you're not going to help me make money, don't help me spend money. Because I feel like a lot of times when you start to do better in life and you start to make money or have more than you're used to or more than others maybe around you have, sometimes you get put in pressure and get put into a situation where you're required to start taking care of other people around you. And I feel like I am responsible for 3 individuals and 3 individuals only. Those are the children that I gave birth to. I am their mother. They depend on me fully to survive, and those are the only people that I owe anything to. So I feel like at that point, that quote spoke out to me because it's like, regardless of what's in my bank account, regardless of what I have, regardless if I'm able to buy the shoes that I wanted or the bag that I wanted, that doesn't mean that I'm responsible to take care of everyone around me or anyone around me just because I might be doing a little better than the next person. I have always been a giver versus a receiver. I will help out anybody. I will give anybody my last. I will literally give you my shirt off your back. But in order for me to get to the next level in my life and in the next phase that I want to get to, a lot of that is going to take a lot of restraint on me to say no, which is something that I'm not used to telling people that I love. Whether I've been wronged or not, I'm not somebody who ever says no. So my other quote is, pain is what forces you to grow. Y'all, that is huge. I'm going to say it again. Pain is what forces you to grow. I have had more pain in my life than, I don't want to say a lot of people because I don't know everybody's story and everybody struggles and everybody has had pain. But I can say for damn sure I have had enough pain just as a child to last me a freaking lifetime. Like a whole freaking lifetime. And with that, as I got older, I carried a lot of resentment, a lot of pain, a lot of anger. Not necessarily bitterness, but just rage. Like I had true rage in me, and that is not of God. That is not healthy in any way, shape, or form. That is not how anybody should live their life. And that is something that I am working on and learning how to let go. And with that, I take a wrong approach. I'll be honest, in the words letting go. I suppressed, which means in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I'm just going to let go. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to let it affect me. So I shove it. If anybody knows, shoving, at one point, everything that you shove down is going to come back up and you're going to explode. So instead, I have decided to try and make my pain push me to the next level. Take what I've been through and force it to be a better mom, a better woman, a better individual, a better believer in Christ, a better friend, a better sister. Every title that I carry, I want to use my pain to force me to grow and to force me to be better, instead of suppressing, holding back, and letting go, and exploding or falling into the victim category. Now, I don't ever want to offend anybody and say that you are weak if you are a victim, because that is not true. I have been a victim a lot in my life. But if I walk around and continue to play the role of the victim, the people that have hurt me and have abused me have now won power over me. And I don't want that anymore. So those are the things that I'm working on internally. Those are my internal goals and things that I'm working on to be better and to grow. A little bit more about me. I am 30 years old. I was born June 13th, 1990. I am a Gemini. Gang, gang, gang. All those statistics and everybody that has anything negative to say about Gemini, you can turn around and shove that where the sun don't shine, because Geminis are bomb, baby, bomb. Okay, we are bomb. I was born in Johnson County, Kansas as a little child. I moved to California. I started kindergarten out there. I went to Cram Elementary. I lived in Redlands, California. It's Southern California, kind of around Riverside area. I lived in Highland for a little bit with my mother, and at parts of that time, my ex-stepfather as well. So I was born here, lived in California for a little bit as a kid. Honestly, a lot of my childhood before middle school is hazy, but I do know that we moved to Kansas City right before 5th grade, and I have been here ever since. Every summer, I did go back to California, stay with my grandparents, my aunt, and visited family. Other than that, I was back and forth until I started my first job. When I got kicked out of my mother and ex-stepfather's house at 17, I did move back home to California and lived with my aunt and then my grandma for a little bit before I moved back home. Like I said, there'll be story times for a lot more events that have happened in my life, and those will take longer than probably anybody has time for today. So I do have 3 kids. My firstborn is Xavier James Love. He is 8 years old. He will be 9 March 28th. So he is getting ready to turn 9. My middle child, which is my baby boy, my youngest son, he is 7 years old. He will be 8 in May. They are 14 months apart. I know, girl. I know. And my baby, my youngest, is my daughter, Liliana K. Love. She is 5. She just turned 5 in September. Something super unique and special about her is she shares the same birthday as my grandmother. And my grandma, no disrespect to anybody else in my life, but that is my absolute favorite person in the world. So I just feel like that's really unique and really special that she gets to share a birthday with my grandma, because with her living in California and being far apart, it is hard to let my kids stay in contact with them being so young, and then the 2-hour time difference. So I just feel like my grandma won't be here forever. She won't be here for the rest of my life. So I just want to cherish the time that I have with her. And I know that when it's her time to go home with the Lord, my daughter does share a very special day, which is the day that she was born with her. So I decided to choose YouTube originally for an outlet for myself. As a kid, I wrote a lot. I know parents have to be parents and have to parent kids. Kids don't get to make decisions for themselves or anything like that. But with the home that I grew up in, I grew up with a very, very strict, abusive stepfather, and with that, I had no voice. If I was right, I was wrong. If I was wrong, I was extra wrong. I got blamed for things that a child has no control over. If him and my mom split up when I was 7 years old, it was my fault. Just a lot of things like that. Things that I obviously have no control over. They're adults. So, as I grew up, I have a tendency to over-explain when I don't need to. I don't owe anybody any explanations. I don't owe anybody any reason for the decisions that I make. Now, if I hurt somebody along the way or do something to offend someone or disrespectful, by all means, I own that, and I will do whatever I need to do to try to correct that or rectify that in that sense. But that's just a part of things that I'm trying to work on. So that leads me to an event that occurred in 2018. I'm not really allowed to talk about it, what happened to me, or any of that. So until I get the go-ahead that I'm allowed to, I will speak on that. But that kind of stopped me from my one outlet that I had, which was writing. Writing is, as a child, I wrote everything down, everything I felt, everything that I was going through, multiple diaries. I actually aced all my English classes just based off my writing skills alone, because that was my only way to express myself or have a place to be myself and to be who I am, was on a piece of paper in front of me from my little child on. So once that got taken from me, I got into a really dark place, because it was painful. It is painful for me to write, for me to use either one of my hands. And I'm right hand dominant, and my right hand is worse off than my left. So originally I wanted to use YouTube as an outlet and almost like a video diary for myself, and I was not trying to take it into a negative aspect. I'm not trying to take YouTube and turn it into something negative, because that's not who I am. That's not what I believe in. But I do know that the things that I've been through, I am not the only one that has been through them. And if I can some way, shape, or form help just one person, maybe going through what I already went through, or heading into that, or even prevent someone from going through or experiencing certain things and ways to get out of them, or to recognize the red flags, that's all that matters. Like, I just believe in helping people around you, and that's not always monetary. Mental health and mental well-being is so crucial and vital to somebody's life, surrounding them, their children, their self, even their physical health. So that is originally why I wanted to start YouTube. I actually decided to go with a family channel. A lot of it was because of my kids. My kids love YouTube. My kids watch YouTube all the time. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't know why I even pay for cable, because my kids literally only watch YouTube. As you can see, I literally just did really something simple with my eyes. It is a Natasha Denona palette. I don't know if you can see it. And I just used this light color, brown, and then this orangey, burnt orangey color, and that's it. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do my face while I am talking, if I can find my foundation. So I start off with Urban Decay. I am shade 5.0, and I use that to cover my face. I actually use blending sponges now instead of brushes to apply my concealer and my foundation. So that's what I will be using. My kids love YouTube. They have begged me and begged me and begged me. Oh, shoot. See what I'm saying? I am a hot mess, honey. I wanted highlights, but honey, not that way. We're just gonna have to lay that there because we don't have time. Okay, honey, we do not have time. So I was very, very iffy. Once you put your kids out there, there is no going back. But then as I saw and thought, there's a lot of children on YouTube. Eventually, my kids are going to grow up, and if that's what they want to do, you know, I will support them. However, if I decide to create a platform, I am essentially opening my kids to that door, whether I put them in a video or not. Unless I go back to my Instagram, my Facebook, Twitter, and go back through the last 8-9 years of my life and delete all of their pictures and try to hide who they are and anybody that's taken pictures and tagged them or tagged me, my kids are going to get seen. People are going to know who my kids are. It's not something that I'm going to be able to hide. So, like I said, I'm not living in fear. And of course, I will not expose them to everything. Kids are kids. They're going to see it. They might not see it now, but they can go back and see it years from now. So that's just a decision that I made for myself. A lot of people might not agree, but that's just what it is. So my kids are going on my YouTube channel. They will be involved in a lot more challenges, little pranks, family vlogs, things like that. So I originally was going to do 2 YouTube channels, but I decided I'm not going to bite off more than I can chew. And since this is something I'm learning, and I'm just going to focus on one channel and grow that platform, and we'll go from there. This ring light is making it look like this color doesn't match, but I really promise that it does. Anyways, Ramone and I have been together for going on 3 years. I was not, and I mean not, looking to be in a relationship at all. I had just gotten out of a 3-year relationship a few months prior. The relationships that I've had in the past are very toxic. They were, not are, because they are not current. Were very toxic. Took a lot out of me, put me in a very low place. And so I decided I didn't want to be in a relationship. I wanted to work on myself. I wanted to work on me as a parent, a mother, to strengthen my relationship with God. And so I wasn't looking. So one day, one of my friends, let me backtrack. I actually have known who Ramone was since high school. I think we went to the same high school, or we knew a lot of the same people when I moved districts when I was a junior in high school. So I know who Ramone is. I've known who he is, but we never ran together. We never really came into contact. So one of our good mutual friends actually invited me out one day just to go to a bar, have a few drinks, maybe get some wings, nothing too major. I did not want to go. I made every excuse in the book. My hair is not done. I don't have nothing to wear. I don't want to go. I'm not feeling it. I have went out a lot, even before I was supposed to go out. We'll just say that, because I'm sure kids are watching and other things, but parents know what I mean, or older people of age probably know what I'm getting at. So I'm not really into going out anymore. That's just something that I just wasn't into. She talked me into it, so I ended up going. And honestly, he was there. If anybody knows Ramone is super quiet, laid back most of the time. So he didn't really say much. We didn't really talk much, but somehow that night we literally, I guess, just clicked, whatever, and kind of been together ever since. I honestly didn't even know we were in a relationship until November. Actually, Thanksgiving of 2018 is when I knew. Because my mom was over and she actually asked, she was like, when are you guys going to make it official? And his response was, well, when wasn't it official? So I'm like, well, okay then. I guess he's my man. So I just kind of go back to the day that we met and say that that's our anniversary. Because, I mean, I don't really know when he got put, we put each other in a relationship. I don't know. It was just kind of ran together. So there is something I do want to touch on. You guys will notice and see my kids call Ramone dad. That I will speak on because I have 3 kids by 2 different men. Those men are no way, no how involved in my kids' lives based off their own choice, their own decision. The way it happened is I mean, from the day we decided to move in together, from the day we got serious and he was introduced to my kids, outside of one man, my kids have never been around anybody else except for my younger 2 children's father. So just bringing him around alone was a very big deal for me, because the only other man that it did not work out, and that was like a 3-year situationship. So I felt very guilty. I was really, really down on myself about being a parent and allowing my kids to get close to somebody just for them to not stay around. So that was a very, very hard thing for me to do, just to allow him into my children's lives. I would say not even a year ago, my daughter met him when she was 2. I've always called him Ramone to them. I introduced him as Ramone, always called him Ramone, never ever implemented this is their dad in no way, shape, or form. My daughter on her own started referring to him as Ramone dad. She was 3 years old. She didn't know any better. But to me, Ramone gives my kids, which I'm trying not to get emotional, Ramone is more than any person, any single mom could ask for in a man being with a girl that has a child, especially more than one. So with that, the only child that I had that really struggled for a little bit with not having his father in his life yet. I don't know what obstacles we'll be facing later on in life or any of that, but was my oldest son. He struggled without having just that father figure around, not understanding. And I think it was just school and noticing that other kids had dads and they were around and his wasn't. So he really struggled with the fact that he didn't have a dad, which I then explained he does have a dad. I did not go through an in vitro process with a sperm donor and create him, which absolutely no shame, power to any mother who does that, who has done that. That is extreme strength and deciding what you want for yourself and going for it. However, it takes 2 to make a child, and I wasn't the only one that made him. So I never want him to feel like it does not have another half. However, for whatever reasons, whatever choices, he is unable to be the father that that Xavier needs. So that's kind of what me and Xavier have gone through, as we've kind of grown up together, as him growing up and him making me a mom and going through all the firsts with him, even though my older boys are only 14 months apart. I still experienced a lot of things with Xavier first. Xavier on his own one day decided to come up to me. And at this point, Liliana was kind of calling Ramone more dad than she was Ramone. It was always, you know, dad, that's my daddy, whatever. She was little. It kind of happened. And to me, I'm not going to take away my child's feelings. So if she felt safe, protected, and loved by him, I'm not going to remove that because of my emotions. Now, she's little, so she didn't understand. It wasn't easy for me because in my brain, here I am walking in fear again. What if this doesn't work out? Now I've done it again, but I've done it worse because I've allowed her to create this relationship and they have this bond, and if it doesn't last, now she doesn't have a dad anymore, and you know, all these negative thoughts that I had to shove down and, you know, rebuke them, because I am a very big believer in life and death is in the power of the tongue. So you have to be careful what you speak out. What you speak out will come into fruition, good or bad. So for a while, my older boys never said anything. One day, Xavier came to me and said, Mom, can I call Ramone dad? I know Lily does, and I really want to call him dad. So I sat down with my son individually, spoke to him about his understanding that he does have a biological father, whether he is in his life or not. He does have a dad, and I never want him to think that he was not good enough, or there was something that he did in order for him to not be a part of his life, because that's not the case in no way, shape, or form. So with that, I sat down and I explained to him, I wanted him, which it's still hard, he's 8, so I wanted him to understand to the best of his ability that yes, Ramone is not your biological father, but that does not mean that how you feel about him isn't valid and isn't real. So I said, I will sit with Ramone. I will talk to Ramone, see how he feels about it, and we'll kind of go from there. I sat down with Ramone. He was like, absolutely, I don't have anything, you know, there was no question. Of course, Elijah, if that boy could be Ramone, he would. He follows everything he does. He wants to be just like him. So Elijah kind of just followed suit with his brother. Sorry. My knees hurting, girl. My knees is hurting. And so I sat with Ramone and I had that discussion. And me as a mom, I am shitting bricks, okay? I'm just be honest. I am shitting bricks. I was so stressed out, so scared, all of these emotions running through me. And to me, I'm like, okay, we're not married, but this is a full-on contract. If we walk down this road, no matter what happens with us, I need your word that you will not leave these kids. Because if these kids are falling in love with you as a father's standpoint and look up to you and have that love and respect for you, regardless of what happens to me, I don't want that taken from them, because then it's on me. That's on me. He was like, absolutely. I mean, it's still a running joke that if anything ever happens to me, my mom, or like if anything ever was to happen to me, God forbid, and I was not able to be in the world any longer, who would get my kids? And of course, my mom's always been like, well, they're coming with me. And Ramone will always say, well, I ain't worried about it, because they ain't gonna want to leave. They gonna all stay with me, so I ain't worried about it. Those are his kids. So I handled that situation very delicately. I wanted Ramone before we came to a decision as parents, as adults, and as a couple. But Ramone has one biological child. Never in a million years would I ever want to interfere with that relationship. I would never want his son to feel like my kids have came and stepped on his toes. even though I know that wasn't an issue, my bonus kid son has always, from day one, referred to my kids as his brothers and his sister. He looks out for them. He cares for them. So I never really looked at that as an issue. But me as a woman and as a mother, I wanted Ramone to go to his son and ask him his true feelings behind that. So that's just what he did. He was so open and loving. He was like, those are already my brothers. Like, he's looking like, why would I care? Those are my brothers. That is my sister type of response. So, that was really moving. That was really, really positive, a good emotional, something is going on right there. I think that's a freckle. Anyways, so we decided after he had a one-on-one with his son, I had one-on-ones with my kids. I actually then had a one-on-one with his son because, me, as we're not married, but I still refer to him as my bonus child. I don't like the word step. I don't. So I refer to him as my bonus child. And I wanted him to know that he has a voice here, and what his feelings are adequate. They matter. And if it was something he wasn't okay with, we would put that on hold till later or whatever. He was all game, all in. This is a family. This is Dad's house. He's referred to me as his stepmother, which really tugs at those heartstrings. And so that's the decision we made, and that's why they call him Dad. Whether they called him Ramone or called him Dad, they still could look at him like that was their father. That is the man that loves, protects, provides, cares for them, is there for them when they need him. Multiple times they go to him versus me because I'm more of the stricter parent. I'm more of, no, is this done? Is that done? Moms, we have to hold it down. We got to do what we got to do. So that's why my kids call Ramone Dad. And I'm just saying what it is on why they call them Dad, but Ramone is their father. That is that. And that's what that came to. So that's just a little bit about me, my life, my experience, some of my experiences, why I chose to do YouTube. However, I don't want it to always be so serious. If you do not mix it up and have fun in life and laugh and play, especially in the times that we are in the middle of a pandemic that doesn't seem like it's ever going to stop, we'll go crazy, right? I already started going crazy a little bit in the beginning. Or not necessarily the beginning, but more like the summer of 2020. And then once my kids were going remote, especially after the first few months, they're only in 2nd and 3rd grade. My daughter in Kansas, Shawnee Mission School District, to be specific, you have to turn 5 by August 30th. My daughter didn't turn 5 till September 16th. So she's 16 days too young to go to kindergarten. So she is in pre-K, but right now she is at home due to COVID and the levels in our county and state, whatever. So with all of that, I feel like, this channel, I want it to be everywhere. I want it to be a safe space. And I want people to have fun, to people to relate, people to reach out. And I mean individually reach out. If there's anything you're struggling with, holla at me. Hop in my DM on Instagram. You can write me on my individual page, which is all _I_am_is_B. Which is all I am is B. I refer to myself as B. My first name is Brittany, starts with a B. So, I don't know, just got a little ring to it. Our handles all will be listed below, but you can also reach out to me at the Lovebox 6. Before I end this, I do want to speak on why I chose the name The Lovebox. Now, my last name is Real, which is a whole story time. And honestly, I don't know if I'll say it because it is my story, because it's my last name, but it's really more my mom's story. So if it's not something she is comfortable with me talking about, I'm not gonna do it. And that's just facts. However, my biological father's last name is Love. He was not around when I was born. From my understanding, he wanted nothing to do with my mother and me when she was pregnant with me. He wanted nothing to do with my mother or me when I was born. So at the time, when I was born, my mom gave me the last name that she had. Which I'm just gonna leave it there. Okay. So, but biologically, my mother's maiden name is Vidon. My father's biological last name is Love. That's his name. My last name is Real. Real has no meaning. It has no DNA. It's not who I am. It's not who I come from. None of that. So when I'm looking at giving birth to my children, especially my first two being sons, their name will be Love for the rest of their life. When they get married, that's the name that they will give their wives. When they have children, that's the name that they will give their sons, their daughters. That's their legacy. That's who they are. So I wanted them to have the last name that I should have had, which is Love. That is who I am biologically. I am a Love. That's who I am. So, I mean, my daughter, God willing, will grow up and find an amazing man and get married, and her last name will change. My sons will give their last name to the women that they marry. So the Love Box kind of started with their last name, but it went deeper than that for me. My mom is extremely loving. She has one of the biggest hearts ever. Some of her choices might have been questionable, but I will never question her love for me. So I have moved, honestly, I lost count, but at least 20 times as a child, and never once was I in foster care. So as I got older and had kids, I wanted to create a safe space for my kids. And regardless of the four walls that are around us, a house is just a box. It's just built of walls, plywood, brick, cement, whatever houses are built out of. That's all it is. Home is where your heart is. Home is where you feel comfortable, where you feel safe, where you have a outlet and a place to be you and accepted. So to have all those things, you have to have love. And so I felt like with this channel and creating a family on YouTube, because no matter how far this journey goes, whether it is a small platform or a large platform, whatever God blesses me with, I want that to be a safe space for everybody. I want that to people that feel alone, people that have nobody. I want you to know you can be a part of the Love Box too. So that's kind of why I chose the Love Box, and it just falls with the last name. It falls with who we are, what I try to give my kids, what I'm trying to provide for the world, and whoever decides to watch me. So the Love Box came from. So I am really excited. I have about, I think the last time I checked, 23 subscribers. I'm so proud of it. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, especially when there's people with hundreds of thousands and millions and whatever. I made my channel a week ago, and regardless, whether it's friends, family, people that stumbled across, there is 23 people that felt like they wanted to be a part of this with me, with us, with our family. And that, like I said, even if I only touched one person, all of this would be worth it for me. So the fact that 23 people have subscribed, I am so grateful for each and every one of you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. truly. God bless all of you and everything that you might be facing and dealing with. I congratulate you and praise you on all of the good things that might be going on in your life as well. I am super excited. Almost every video that we have posted has gotten over 100 views. And to me, those are big goals. I was expecting maybe 20, 15, 10, but over 100, that's big. That's huge to me. I'm so excited. I'm so proud. I am so blessed. I'm so thankful. So, you know, I want to eventually get into giving notifications, post notification shout outs, and, you know, kind of just doing a lot of what I see fellow YouTubers doing, and just to show love and my gratitude. But until I get to that level or do it, my post notification shout out goes to the level love box. Everybody that who has watched the video, liked the video. I can't find my lipstick, y'all. Oh, here it is. This is my go-to. I don't know if you can see it, if it's focusing or not. It is from the Beauty Bakery. It is their lip whip. I did not order the lip remover, which I need to. So a little bit of a disclaimer. This stuff does not come off, okay? It does not. It is going to stay until next week, honey. So I have a few different makeup wipe removers. So I use Witch Hazel makeup wipe removers, and I also use baby soap, and then it comes off, or like baby oil or something like that. Give me a second and I'll tell you the color. It is Salted Caramel Mocha. It is my go-to, and it is matte, of course. I don't know why, but when I do my makeup, I always have to have a matte lip. I don't know why. I just have to. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. But when I don't have any makeup on, or just my eyebrows, I have on lip gloss. It's really weird. I don't know. It's just me. I'm very unique. I'm very different. Kind of crazy, to be honest, but in a good way. But I'm not like slashing tires and busting out windows crazy. But I am, you know, I'm unique, and there's nothing wrong with that. I own it. I own who I am, honey. And it took me a long time to get there, but I own it. So once this dries, I do go in with my Kylie Jenner lipstick, which is matte too. Just dropped it. It is Angel Cake. Honestly, I love this color online. I love it in person, but when I put it on, it might not look like it, but when I put it on, bro, it literally blends in with my skin. It literally looks like I have no lips. So I kind of just wait for this to dry and put it on and do like a little ombre effect. But anyways, I am getting ready to, let me just put this on. I just kind of put a little in the middle, a little top, blend it in a little bit. There we go. I always put mascara underneath. A lot of the times, most of the time, I do put liner in my waterline, eyeliner in my waterline, which I didn't today, but, you know, girl, I told y'all, I am a hot freaking mess, okay? Spray my face. I have two. I have the setting spray from the Beauty Bakery. A lot comes out, like a lot, and I don't know how to manage it. So I use Morphe, which, oh girl, I need to run to Ulta because I am almost out. I normally spray my face twice, let that dry. I feel like nothing going outside. Let that dry. Y'all, lost my top. And this is kind of my everyday. This is the finished product. Oh, I didn't put any highlighter on. Oops. Oh, well. I ain't going to work today. But anyways, without further ado, this is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked it. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell, turn those notifications on so that way you get notified every time we post a new video. I am so grateful for you guys watching. Everybody who stuck through and watched this whole video, shout out to you. Thank you. I love you. Hopefully I can push out 2 or 3 more this week. I want to get to the point where I can post every day or at least every other day. But of course, with the ways of the world, my physical pain that I endure every day, being a mom of 3 kids, a girlfriend, and just a lot of roles, it is a lot of work. But without further ado, I will see you in the next video. I am out.